You know that moment when someone makes a comment about you. Not loud, not obvious, just sharp enough to sting. And your brain freezes, you wonder, was that a joke? Am I overreacting? Did they even mean it that way? So you say nothing. You smile, you move on. You tell yourself it's not worth it. But something subtle just happened. You weren't ignored. You were tested. Because comments like that aren't random. They're probes. They're designed to see what you'll tolerate, what you'll excuse, and how far they can go next. And when you stay quiet, they learn something dangerous. That you're safe to push. I spent weeks breaking down real confrontational conversations, social psychology research, and timeless stoic insights to isolate the exact techniques that shut rude people down instantly, without you ever sounding rude. So stay with me until the end, because by then, you'll know exactly how to respond the next time someone targets you without freezing, over-explaining, or losing your self-respect. Technique number 1. The social slip technique. Expose the social mistake, not the person. Imagine this. They look directly at you and make a comment about you. Not loud, not aggressive, just sharp enough that your body tightens before your mind catches up. You feel the urge to defend yourself or to fire back. That urge is the test. Most people react from it. And that reaction is exactly what the other person is watching for. Instead, you stay calm and say, "That sounded like an inside thought." Or, "What a weird thing to say out loud." Here's why this works. You're not accusing them of being rude. You're not attacking their character. You're quietly pointing out a social misstep. Psychologically, this triggers self-monitoring, the moment people become aware of how they're coming across. When that happens, embarrassment kicks in, not anger, and awkwardness shuts conversations down faster than confrontation ever could. Technique number 2, the mirror trap. Force them to hear themselves. Sometimes they say it and immediately move on. They want the comment to stick without resistance. Because the goal isn't the words, it's the reaction. They want the moment to pass with the sting still hanging in the air, especially if there's an audience. Your instinct is to respond right away, to explain, to defend yourself. That instinct is exactly what gives them leverage. The Stoics believed power begins with control over your response. The moment you give that up, you hand it to someone else. So instead, you pause, just for a beat. Then you say, "Could you repeat that?" Calm, neutral, no edge. Here's what happens next. They're forced to hear their own comment again, slowly, clearly, with everyone listening. The joke dies, the smirk fades, the room goes quiet. Not because they feel bad, but because the moment stops working. They don't get the reaction, they don't get the laugh, they don't get the payoff. And when mean behavior loses its audience, it loses its power. Technique number 3, the reputation crack. Make them question how they're seen. This one is for when it's no longer accidental. They know what they're doing. They want the comment to land. They want you to feel small. So you don't debate the words. You address what the words imply. You say, "I'm surprised you feel comfortable saying things like that." Calm, direct, no sarcasm. Here's why this works. You're not calling them rude. You're not attacking their character. You're forcing a moment of exposure. Epictetus warned that provocation only works when you participate in it. So instead of reacting, you let their words sit in the open. And suddenly, their behavior speaks louder than anything you could say. Their brain has to ask, is this how I want to be seen? Is this the image I'm projecting right now? For someone using rudeness as a power move, that question is dangerous. Because status doesn't collapse from confrontation. It collapses from exposure, not out of kindness, not out of guilt, but because social image is the one thing they're always protecting. That's why the tone shifts immediately. Technique number 4, the role reversal. Shift the focus away from you. When someone targets you emotionally, they want you on defense. So you don't defend, you observe, and you say, "You seem frustrated. Is something wrong?" This isn't empathy, it's redirection. You're shifting the center of the conversation away from the comment and onto the emotional state behind it. Most rude behavior isn't about the topic at all, it's displaced emotion. And the moment that emotion is named, the leverage disappears. The intensity drops fast. Technique number 5, the starvation move. Remove the reason to keep pushing. Here's something most people miss. A lot of rudeness, especially in professional settings, isn't driven by confidence. It's driven by a fear of being ignored. So instead of resisting, you acknowledge. You say, I see your point. That's it. This isn't agreement, it's acknowledgement. Psychologically, this works because the behavior has already achieved its goal. They've been seen, they've been heard, and once that need is met, there's nothing left to push for. No reaction to chase, no resistance to press against. This is what the Stoics meant by non-attachment. Acknowledging without clinging, hearing without surrendering control, and when there's no payoff left, the behavior starves. Technique number 6, frame control. End the game without escalation. Rude people thrive in chaos. You don't. You control what's yours, your actions, your participation, your frame. So instead of engaging further, you reset the conversation. You say, let's focus on what actually moves this forward. This isn't negotiation and it isn't confrontation. It's a frame lock. You're calmly signaling that the conversation can't continue in its current form. No emotion, no back and forth, no opening for more jabs, and calm boundaries don't invite debate. They end it. Final thought. Here's the truth most people never learn. Rude behavior isn't really about the comment. It's about leverage. It's a test of how quickly you react, how much access you give, how easily someone can pull you off center. You can't stop rude people from existing, but you can make their behavior irrelevant to you. Every technique you just learned does the same thing. It quietly removes leverage, not by winning the argument, not by proving a point, but by refusing to play a game you never agreed to. That's real control. Because as Epictetus pointed out, what upsets us isn't what happens. It's the meaning we give it. So here's my question for you. Which one of these techniques would you actually use the next time someone tests you? And more importantly, which one do you usually fall for? Drop your answer in the comments. I'll be picking the most insightful one for the next video.